other questions on this particular topic here? Or no?
Maybe if we'll get farther into it, maybe get a dollar amount on the table.
It's in there.
Sheet on the back.
Which is preliminary, that's based on 4 keys per. You know, as we got this, Bertie and I were talking about, we'll probably end up having to have more keys for different jobs so that we can cover everything, but that's a pretty close estimate.
That's what I was asking, if this were reimbursable, which we would get reimbursed 90% of this cost.
Let me just mention something. You know, we're dealing with the Affordable Care Act, and I know Ms. Wilkerson, you attended one of those meetings, and, you know, we gotta start looking at, to see if people are working 30 hours a week, and, you know, there'll be some circumstances that we're gonna have to provide insurance for folks that we normally don't provide insurance for. But in all of that, we have to track the hours that everyone's working. So all the subs, we have to track all their hours. And Katrina and I have been working really hard to get everything on our end set up. But this would take care of all the bus drivers, you know, make sure that their hours are getting tracked accurately. And there's probably several bus drivers.
So,
And then it's really, if it works, and it works really good, it would just be, you know, we could just move it on out to other areas if it works really, really good.
Well, let me just clarify something. I'm a bus driver, and I do my pre-inspection in the morning. I finish my first run. Does my time stop then?
yeah, your time by policy, in the mornings when you start. When you touch that bus in the morning, your time starts, but you have 15 minutes prior included to do your pre-trip. Then when you park your bus in the morning, your time stops.
So I finished my run, and I brought it back to wherever.
Wherever you park it. Now, the afternoon's a little different. In the afternoon, policy says 20 minutes prior to the dismissal, the dismissal of school, that your time starts then. We give 20 minutes in the evening because you have 15 minutes for your pre-trip, and then 5 minutes to be there and be ready. Then your time stops in the evening when you park your bus.
So all that time that's in the middle of the day, they're not compensated for that unless they do an extra run or something.
Well, they are compensated. They're compensated for an 8-hour day, regardless of, you know,
Well, that's what I'm trying to
what
understand.
configuration. They get paid for 8 hours. Now, when we calculate the overtime, then we take that time that they're actually on the bus, which is what we just described. When they reach 40 hours, then it goes in the overtime.
Well, that's what I was trying to understand then.
And this process currently, when they turn in for overtime, my secretary has to go back and check everyone's time on that, which is one of the reasons it takes so much time to make sure that it's accurate. This will do that for you. So it'll automatically calculate it when it sends it to Trina.
Well, now, when they, of a morning, do they put their key in there when they start their pre?
In the morning with this system that we want to start, the first thing that they should do would be start the time with their key.
Okay.
Because the pre-trip is included in their actual time work.
Right, okay.
And what we pay them for. Now,
Okay.
the difference would be in the afternoon, they would have to do it 20 minutes prior to the dismissal of school. So they would have to do it when they got to school.
Well,
Mention
on
one thing that I really like
extra-
about it.
Extra run, when does their time, do they get a free trip? Do they
Yeah,
get
so
paid?
they get paid for the pre-trip for it too, and clean up.
What did you like about it, Trina?
All these extra jobs they do, like during the day, if they take a library run, whatever, Tammy has to create the invoice, put their daily rate in there, 1/7 their pay, print out the invoice, she sends it over to us, we have to enter it in, we won't have to do that anymore. For each run like that. And all the 21st century after-school runs and critical skills, won't have to worry about that, entering it in. It'll automatically set up to come out of the right account number. And then it'll create overtime if they work in the overtime. And also, I think we can do it for the bus aides too.
Oh, yeah, I included the aides in that one.
Would they have their key?
Yeah, they would have their own key. Now, they would only need the start and the stop one because they wouldn't be doing the extra jobs. And their time is different than bus drivers. Their time begins when they get on the bus, you know, when they are dropped off at school or at home in the evening.
Mr. Cummings, will this company provide any necessary training if we need it?
at cost, or, they'll help get us set up. I think it was, I have to look back and see. But the, Mitzi Akers from Raleigh County, the thing that she said that she liked about this company the most was their ability and desire to work with you to make sure that the product was the way that you wanted it. And from talking to them on the phone, I believe that will be true too, from all accounts that I have. Once we get it set up, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of training that we have to do. The setup will be the hard part.
Okay. Anything else on that topic, Jeff, something you're?
Like when they're cleaning the bus, fueling the bus, or a child gets sick, while they're on their time.
That's built into their time. They get 3 hours a week. Or is it 3.5? 3.5 hours a week.
It's
We'll
3 hours.
argue that one, figure that one out. But they get so much time a week that kind of thing is included. And if I have to watch a tape and I have questions or whatever, and I have to bring them in, that's included in that 3 hours too.
I mean, how would this program take care of that?
It's already calculated in.
Oh, okay.
And it also, Saturday time, where if they work 3 hours or more, or
More than 3.5.
more than 3.5, they get a hold of that, it will account for that too.
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Me too.
Okay.
But
All right, Rod, anything else on that or any other topic?
I got one more little thing I wanted to discuss, was my mechanics. Currently, we have 3 mechanics. We have, I've divided them up into the number of buses that we have and assigned them. Each specific buses comes up to 19. State code recommends that we have 13 or 14. One of the big benefits for having a smaller number of buses to cover is that it allows them to do the PMs, the preventive maintenance, more often. The more often we do the preventive maintenance, the less defects that we have. The more often we find the small things before they turn into the big things that cost us lots of money for repairs. I'm requesting, and I know times are tough, but I'm requesting that we add another mechanic. Currently, as I said, we have 3 with their schedules. I have 2 guys in the morning that come in at 6, work till 2. Got 1 guy in the evening. He works from 9 to 5. From 2 to 5 in the evening, he's there by himself, essentially doing the work. Probably a safety issue, but even more, well, I shouldn't say it that way. Equally as important, productivity suffers, because there's a lot of jobs that require 2 mechanics to get them completed. So he'll be in there from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening. He's not able to do as much for his group of buses as what the other guys are doing. If we have 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, that would help that. Another problem that we have with only having 1 guy in the evening, if he goes on a service call, a bus is broken down somewhere, then we have nobody else unless we have to call somebody out. So I put a letter in that, and I would like for you to consider the possibility of adding an additional mechanic when you see fit. Thanks.
You know what, obviously, as you know, in December, we'll get our preliminary comps and then begin, Ms. Lucas and her staff will begin to look at our employees and our staffing and what adjustments we may have to make. But I think that'd be part of that conversation.
Appreciate it.
Okay, anything else for transportation?
Mr. Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
Would it benefit you, I mean, if we can't provide a full-time mechanic, like a half-time? Would that be possible, or?
I'll take anything I can get.
Well, I know it's not gonna be anytime soon.
And I realize that too. And again, I know times are tough. But also know that I'm not doing my job if I see that we have a need and I don't ask for it.
The safety issue
It's
is
a
what
safety
bothers me.
issue, and not just a safety issue of my mechanic, but the safety issue of these children Because if we're not doing the preventive maintenance like we should, then we're putting kids out there in a bus that may not be as safe as it could be.
That halftime mechanic would be to your advantage in the afternoon, though, wouldn't
Yes,
it, rather than morning.
yes, if I had a halftime mechanic, if we could find one, I would have won it from 2 to 5, you know, whatever the time is, 2 to whatever, when it was there at the same time.
We'll just, once again, we'll just have to look at it, right, you know, as you know, at this time, we're facing the potential of a $900,000 penalty and all that. We don't know how all that's gonna come out in the end, but, you know, I think everybody understands the need and what you're expressed to us, and we'll certainly consider.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.